David had always trusted Emma, his wife of 8 years, implicitly, or at least, he told himself he did. But that quiet Sunday afternoon, as the golden sunlight filtered through their living room curtains, something shifted. He noticed the faint vibration of her phone, lying innocuously on the coffee table, buzzing incessantly. Over the years, he had memorized her patterns. The timing, the tone, the way she reacted when a message made her laugh, pause, or frown. Today, the phone buzzed in a way that seemed deliberate, secretive. A small knot of unease twisted in his stomach, though he tried to dismiss it. Emma was away in the kitchen, humming softly as she prepared lunch, oblivious to the storm brewing in his mind. David reached out casually, pretending to check his own messages, and glimpsed her phone screen. Notifications disappearing almost immediately, a familiar pattern of deletion he had seen before. But this time, something in him didn't let it slide. Months ago, anticipating the unspoken possibility of betrayal, not from distrust but from instinct, he had set up an automatic backup on her phone whenever she connected to Wi-Fi. Today, that backup would prove to be a silent witness. He didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, he let the day pass, letting the mundane sounds of their home, clinking dishes, the whir of the refrigerator, Emma's laughter, cover the tension building in him. That night, after Emma retired to bed, he sat alone, laptop open, scrolling through the automatic backup. What he found was subtle at first. Messages deleted almost as soon as they arrived, GPS pings from locations she had said she'd never been, social media interactions that contradicted her casual explanations. It wasn't just flirtation, it was secrecy layered in a web of careful lies. Over the next few days, David became a silent observer. He didn't accuse, he didn't probe openly. He pieced together screenshots, mapped out GPS trails, compiled evidence. Each discovery was a shard of glass, cutting deeper than the last. There was a cafe she'd claimed was closed, where she had met someone repeatedly. There were messages that hinted at laughter, intimacy, and secrecy he had never shared with her. Every night, he sat in the living room, surrounded by the glow of the laptop, a tight ache in his chest, building a picture of a life that ran parallel to his own. Emma mentioned a solo retreat, coming up for a few days, a chance to reconnect with herself after her stressful project at work. David nodded, smiled, and let her go, masking the storm beneath the calm exterior. That retreat was perfect, perfect for his plan, perfect for the patience he had cultivated over years of quiet observation. While she was away, he prepared. The evidence was neatly compiled: screenshots, GPS maps, message threads, and social media interactions. He printed some, left others on the laptop ready to display. But he did not label them with judgment. He left space for shock, for the raw confrontation of truth, for her to realize the depth of her own deception without him having to yell, plead, or beg. The day Emma returned, David waited in the living room, a silent calm surrounding him like armor. She walked in, light and unsuspecting, with the scent of the retreat clinging to her, a mixture of flowers and faint sunscreen, memories of a freedom she assumed he would never intrude upon. She dropped her suitcase by the door, smiling, thinking he would ask about her trip, maybe tease her for taking too long to pack. But David did nothing. He simply gestured toward the living room, where her retreat, a sanctuary she had thought private, was laid bare in digital and printed form. Emma froze. For a heartbeat, the world tilted. Her eyes darted from the laptop to the printed sheets on the coffee table. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. "David, what, how?" she stammered. David did not speak. He did not have to. The evidence spoke for itself. The messages, the GPS logs, the carefully deleted social media activity. It all screamed betrayal, calculated secrecy, and deceit. The quiet was suffocating, filled with her mounting panic. She tried to justify, to explain, to laugh it off, but each attempt only dug her deeper. The suspense in the room was unbearable. Emma's breaths grew rapid, shallow, as she realized the meticulous patience David had employed. She had assumed that her solo retreat was a shield, a temporary escape from scrutiny. But in reality, it had been the final stage of a meticulous plan, a silent reckoning she had unknowingly invited. David's calm was louder than any accusation. His silence was sharper than any shout. Tears welled in her eyes, but David remained steady, watching her unravel. The heartbreak was mutual. His own chest felt raw with the betrayal of years, of laughter, of nights spent in shared dreams. Yet he had prepared himself for this, had harnessed his patience like a weapon. Watching her desperation unfold without interference was both torture and liberation. "David, please," she whispered finally, her voice breaking under the weight of unspoken remorse. But the word "please" was powerless against the concrete clarity of truth. There were no arguments left, no manipulations. The lattice of secrets she had built around herself had collapsed, leaving only exposure and regret. Hours passed in that tense silence. She sat on the edge of the couch, face buried in her hands, every attempt at explanation swallowed by the mountain of evidence. David's heart ached, not from cruelty, but from the necessary reckoning of love betrayed. There was no yelling, no dramatic confrontation, only the unflinching reality of actions laid bare. Finally he spoke, softly, almost to himself. "I gave you years of trust. You chose secrecy instead. I waited because I wanted to see if you valued honesty, or if you were living a double life. Now I know." His voice was steady, unshaken, but the emotion beneath it was palpable. Emma could only nod, unable to meet his eyes. She had assumed she could control the narrative, that her retreat would cleanse the guilt, that silence would shield her. Instead, she faced the most potent punishment, the quiet acknowledgment of truth, the collapse of pretense, and the undeniable heartbreak she had caused. David did not scream, did not storm out, did not call friends or family to witness her downfall. He simply allowed her to witness the consequences of her choices. The suspense, the slow reveal, the silent confrontation, it was more powerful than any argument. It was a lesson in patience, in observation, in the devastating weight of truth. As she sat there, trembling and remorseful, he packed her suitcase back up, not angrily, but with meticulous care, a mirror of the calm he had maintained throughout. Each fold, each placement of her belongings, was a silent testament to the meticulous patience he had shown. He left the evidence in clear view, a permanent reminder of choices made and trust broken. When she finally left the house that night, it was without the drama of confrontation, without the theatrics she might have expected. She walked into the darkness, a shadow of the woman she had been, carrying the crushing knowledge that secrets have weight, patience has power, and betrayal has consequences. David closed the door behind her, feeling a deep ache in his chest, not for revenge, not for anger, but for the heartbreak of truth laid bare and the silence that had spoken louder than any words could. He sat alone in the living room, staring at the evidence, the glow of the laptop casting soft light on his weary face. The suspense of discovery, the heartbreak of betrayal, and the quiet power of patience had delivered the most profound lesson of all. Truth, when wielded carefully, is far more devastating than confrontation, far more telling than anger, and far more permanent than any fleeting moment of deceit.